All right, let's talk the Miami Dolphins, who have now, won a couple of games here, getting to 4 wins on their schedule. Also, let's talk Tua and what he has been able to do. He's continued to look impressive since he came back from the injury. I think the question with this game is how much of it is Tua looks good and how much of it is you're playing the Jets. If I'm being honest, I think most of it is it's because they're playing the Jets. That's kind of how I see. But let's get into the film and let me sort of explain the good and the bad we saw from Tua. All right, let's start things off with this one. And I have to, right off the bat, I have to mention there is an error on the graphic. So already off to a good start. I don't feel like going around and making a whole new graphic, but basically the halfback's route, it's actually a tight end who's going to be running that route. The tight end lined up towards the offense's right is going to pull over. So the way that this play is designed to work is it's against zone coverage, and what you're going to do is you have a receiver who runs over the middle, and this will typically take away the deep corner route. I know that if you look at the route itself, it kind of looks like he's going sort of in that middle area of the field, but the corner will follow him, especially because he's the only receiver who's currently lined up to the offense's left. They also have a tight end and a halfback, but it's only one receiver. The tight end is going to kind of run in between those other two routes, and basically, a Jets player covering the flat, he could cover the tight end, he could cover, the other tight end who's flashing over, but he can only cover one of them. The other guy could get open, and if the deep corner does read this and try something else, well, then you have a shot deep. So either way, basically, the way to think about this is for the Dolphins, they have 3 players who are going to run close to outside of the numbers to the offense's left, and the Jets only have 2 guys who are in charge of covering that area, so it's just a numbers advantage. Watch how Tua's going to take the snap. He runs a play action here, and what you see is that it's working out perfectly, right? You have that middle route, which is typically the one that gets open. Tua sees it, and he can make this play. One thing I should mention about Tua, though, is it's been a criticism I've given against him a bit, which is he struggled at times to throw the ball when running, but he's done a lot better this season at that. He's vastly improved at throwing off balance, which was a real weakness for him as a rookie, so that's nice to see. Look, he makes the throw. Again, this does kind of fall into the how much do you credit Tua, how much do you credit the Dolphins offense, and how much do you credit the Jets defense not playing well. On that pie chart, how big of a slice of the pie do you give to each area there? I probably give the biggest slice to the Jets defense, quite frankly, I do. But then I would give the next biggest to the Dolphins offense, and then probably Tua. It wasn't the highest degree of difficulty throws, but again, that's kind of what you want Tua to do, is you want him to run an offense. That's why you draft Tua, to be that guy who can run an offense. So if he can do this stuff consistently, you'll take that. All right, now let's go on to this play. So this was that deep shot, and I gotta be honest, this is definitely Jets defense sucks. I mean, that's what this play was, and this is what I saw the majority of when there were plays that went in the Dolphins' favor. Not to this degree, but it was a lot of the Jets just gotta get it together, and I don't think that they will. What's going to happen on this play is, and this is kind of a little bit tricky because it's going to be a cover 3 zone blitz the Jets are doing, and sometimes these things throw you off a little. Typically when you play this coverage, you have 4 guys covering the middle of the field, but since it's a blitz, it's only 3, and because of that, sometimes you don't understand your assignment because you're doing something slightly different, which can result in blown coverages. For the Dolphins, what they're doing is they have 2 receivers to Tua's left. One's running a route where he'll just stop around the first down marker, the other running a go route. So typically, this shouldn't be that difficult of a concept for the Jets to cover given the situation they're in. However, as you see, I mean, you look at this and there's just going to be a blown coverage. I don't know what exactly happened, but one of these guys got confused and thought that they were supposed to be covering the middle of the field, while the other one thought they were supposed to be covering deep. They blew the coverage. They were confused on this play, lack of communication or whatever. So now at this point, you have a wide open player who's all the way, I mean, this is easy for the Dolphins, and also worth mentioning, the safety was kind of cheated over towards the offense's right, so this makes it even more open for Miami. Now I want to shift your attention over to Tua for a second, because this is going to be, I mean, you're going to really see Tua put some effort into this one. I mean, look, you do see he does kind of, he puts his whole body into the throw, and it still is a bit underthrown. They do get the touchdown, so it's hard to critique him when you throw, really, I mean, he threw it 50 yards down the field, so we could argue, like, the noodle arm Tua, right? That's what people always say. Well, he did get the ball down the field, but would he have been able to do that had he been under pressure more so than he was? Because there was immediate pressure, but he got out of it. And if there was pressure as he was trying to throw it, it just took him a little longer to get there. That is a fair thing to point out. But hey, he got the ball down the field, and that's kind of what you can hope for, I guess. So that's what I think about that play. But again, I wanted to bring this up because there definitely was some Jets not doing so good stuff in this game for sure. Now, we can talk about some negatives as well. We can talk about the interception, I suppose. What's going to happen is it's a man coverage play, and you have a route that can work against this coverage. It might take a minute to get open, but you see, over the middle, that's a pretty good angle for Tua. I think it would be better if it was going the other way, just because, again, Tua's left-handed, so these things, it changes it a little bit, but still, it's a throw that Tua could make. As you see, Tua's going to take the snap right here, and you notice that there is some separation. Now, there's also a player covering the middle of the field, so Tua can't just, completely throw it up there, so that's what makes it a little bit trickier, but still, this is a play that could work out. You could get a big completion here. It's probably going to have to be a tough, it's a difficult throw, is what I would say about it. Also worth mentioning, there is a little bit of pressure that could potentially affect things on top of this, but watch what's going to happen. As you see, it's a bit overthrown. That's what it was. It wasn't the best throw, ends up getting intercepted. Do I care about this play? Not a ton, and listen, if this happened a lot, I would care about it. Tua doesn't really miss throws like this, so that's why I don't really care that much. He's pretty accurate. I guess he'll miss the occasional throw. You can say that with basically every quarterback. His missed throw this time resulted in an interception, but that's not a big issue. I've watched enough Tua play that, this is, to me, the exception, not the rule. I'm not going to say, oh, well, this is one interception. He sucks. That's not really a big concern for me, I don't think. Although something like this might be a concern, because this is the play that the Dolphins love to run, and the Jets covered this one up really nicely. So it's going to be a play action with a quick route over the middle. This isn't anything Dolphins specific or anything. Obviously, plenty of teams do this. But what the Dolphins do differently than other teams is they have it go very quickly. A lot of teams will try to have it go over the middle and maybe, get it in between the two middle linebackers. What the Dolphins like to do is they like to do it sort of in that first gap where they can throw the ball instead of in that second or third gap. They like to get it a lot quicker. Watch what happens. Tua's going to take the snap right here. He does run a play action, and you see how this could work. The play action gets a player to move in. However, he's still standing right in the throwing lane, and Tua needs to time this one a little bit better. Quite frankly, I don't think he ever saw 30 for the Jets right there. I just don't think he sees him because he's behind the offensive line. So I think that's what happened. But that's a little dangerous if teams are starting to catch on and say, hey, we see what the Dolphins are doing with this kind of stuff. Let's be a little bit more aware of it. This could result in interceptions, especially when Tua's not seeing it. The pass got batted at the line, and that was a good thing for the Dolphins. That could have easily been an interception had it not been batted at the line. So a little bit dangerous, something to keep an eye on. I think, again, didn't come back to bite him this game, but definitely, put a pin in it. Wouldn't be shocked if there's an interception that happens like that later, unless the Dolphins also see this and say, okay, let's, make sure you're aware of that, Tua, which they could do. So yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Tua's performance? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.